Hello, everyone, and welcome to Tuesdays for the 12th. I'm State Rep Brandy Fluker-Reid, and I'm so excited to be joined by our partners at Mattapan Food and Fitness. Before we get started, some of you may recall when I first ran for office in 2020, I would host this program with key community partners just to talk about issues that are impacting us here in the 12th Suffolk. I am proud to bring it back to the community, and with all of the food insecurity and the cut to benefits that we've been experiencing, I thought who else to bring on besides Mattapan Food and Fitness. So, can each of you just introduce yourselves and share the role that you play within the organization?
Sure. My name is Vickey Siggers. I am the Food Access Manager at Mattapan Food and Fitness.
And I'm Starrell Lane, affectionately known as Star, and I'm the Food Access Coordinator with Mattapan Food and Fitness.
Vickey and Star, thank you so much for being here, especially with all the demands on your time. For listeners who might not be familiar with Mattapan Food and Fit and the work that you do, can you tell us a little bit about the organization?
Yeah, so Mattapan Food and Fit, we have a few programs that we lead, and one that we are really known for is the Farmers Market in Mattapan Square. And we also have the fitness program with Kay Savage. She's amazing. We have
Mm-hmm.
a community empowerment program and a youth empowerment program. That's what we're known for.
Love it. And when you think about Mattapan in particular, what does a healthy, thriving community look like?
It looks like one that is an intergenerational space where we build a leadership um, in the community and having our residents learn how to advocate for healthy food and physical activities.
Yes, very cool. I know before we started recording, Vicky was telling me she's been with the farmers market for a while, but what I love about Mattapan Food and Fit is it also feels like family and it's so community led. And you mentioned that two young girls when they were 12 like
Yes,
created the kids corner at the
yes.
farmers market. So just wanted to highlight how receptive you all are to the community's needs and what they feel like they need in order to thrive in Mattapan as well. So thank you so much for your leadership and your work. Before we talk policy, I would love to know what brings each of you to this work. How did you get started in food access and community health work?
Oh,
Oh,
you
I'll go
you
first.
want to start?
Yeah,
Okay.
my Vicky's been with Mattapan Food and Fit a long time, so she has much more experience than myself. But what brought me to Mattapan Food and Fit is my relationship with nutrition. During the pandemic, COVID, I ventured more into nutrition
Okay.
because I'm like, I was in a house with 7 people. And I'm like, we need to eat right. We need to make sure that everyone is healthy, being in that environment due to what's happening all around us. So I practiced that. Then I brought it into a previous job where I did nutrition workshops with a middle school,
Nice.
and I wanted to dive deeper into that, and just not just practice it in my personal life, bring it into my work life. And I came across Mattapan Food and Fit. I love the mission. I love the work. I wanted to be a part of the farmers market, and here I am.
I love it. Thank you, Star, for sharing. And what about you, Miss Vicky?
And I'm so happy she is here. So yes, I've actually been with Mattapan Food and Fitness since '07. I did some other work around food access, healthy corner stores, and then sort of just slid into being the Mattapan Square Farmers Market manager. Um, I, I will have to say, on a personal side, I would go into stores and I wasn't happy with what I was seeing.
Mm,
The quality of the food, the upkeep of especially the corner stores, and what really uh, that I was focused on was trying to understand why people in our community didn't feel that they deserved better.
mm,
So I was fortunate enough that a neighbor kept asking me to go to a um, MFC meeting,
yeah.
and I did. And there I met all these amazing people, and I felt that there was hope, and I learned about how they were fighting to make sure that the community had, good, affordable, locally grown food, and we lifted each other up, trained each other, and yeah, that was
The rest is history.
yeah, like 18 years ago. Yeah, and the rest is it because I really was planning on like not staying in Mattapan
Yeah.
because
yeah.
I was just feeling like this is not where I need to be.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
life knew better.
I'm so glad that you shared that, Vickey, because I think about all they say about Mattapan, and it's when I say they, it's folks who aren't from there who maybe there for a little bit but didn't really stay and grow roots. And when you mentioned how you were puzzled why folks didn't think to want more or want better for themselves, and I often reflect on that as a Mattapan native myself and still living in Mattapan. And Star, you're in Mattapan nearby.
Born and raised.
Yeah,
yes.
born and raised Mattapan. I know Miss
Mattapan.
Vickey's in Mattapan as well. We receive that messaging too, right? And I think it's so easy for folks to internalize that negative messaging about their own community, and then it creates a lack of hope, or it reduces a sense of pride. And so I'm glad you stayed. I'm glad that the universe and the Lord knew better to make you stay. But it's true, because we have so many community members and leaders like yourselves who know we deserve the best and are working day in and day out to do the part to make sure our community has what they needed to thrive. And it's easy to walk away. So I just want to commend y'all for staying and helping to shift the narrative of what Mattapan is. Having said that, we certainly have communities and family members that are in need, especially with all that's happened with the cutting of SNAP benefits. And while the government is set to reopen any day now, we know that that's only through the end of January. So we'll still be in the thick of winter, and who knows what will happen at the time of that extension. Can you just talk a little bit about what have you seen amongst families in Mattapan as a result of the cuts and the rollbacks?
Oh, a lot of stress.
Yeah.
A lot of uncertainties. Looking for our resources. And, the prices of food is a lot anyway. And then for them to lose their SNAP was, yeah. I mean, we get phone calls every day, and I can hear it in their voices. And, we really try to make sure that the resources that we have are solid so that they can call first. Don't just go.
Yeah.
We found some other things around transportation where they can get transportation to get to a farmer's market or a food pantry. I've called people back just to double check, and it's a way of also building relationships with other people. I've done a lot of work with families in Mattapan. I was a family engagement coordinator. So those skills are still with me, and I'm rooted with ABCD, and so they know that they can call, and that we'll do our best to support them. But this stress.
Yep, that's real.
That's it.
Yeah, that's real. Star, anything you want to add to that, or no pressure? I just want to make sure
Well, I'm still learning, and Ms. Vickey's amazing, and she walks me through it, and we have these discussions. So I am learning through her. She is the primary contact currently, but playing the background, and Ms. Vickey's like, this is what we need, and we put the packages together, and we make sure that we have the information posted, and make sure that people have access to that information. And being able to have those calls with them. Even yesterday, someone called and she went to a food pantry, but she didn't call first. So Ms. Vickey specifically said that she's just upset.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, I understand. And we talked through it and provided her with resources immediately. So just the the anxiety, the emotions, and needing it quick, fast, and in a hurry. So that's a lot of, what I've been experiencing with coming in contact with some community members that are affected by it.
I mean, I think times are tough for everyone right now, and especially the most vulnerable. The good news is here in Massachusetts, even prior to the announcement of the deal being made in Washington, our governor and leadership, here at the House and the Senate stepped up and said, no, we're going to make sure that SNAP benefits are funded for the month of November. So that was a blessing for us here
Absolutely.
in the Commonwealth. And I think about how privileged we are to live in Massachusetts. Lord knows we're not perfect by any stretch, and we still have lots of work to do, but it quite honestly could be worse in another state. And as someone who has lived in other states, I know that to be true. And then it still feels like the issue of hunger is being used as a political tool in Washington for whatever reason, for the powers that be. How is that affecting the reality, the day-to-day work of organizations like yourself?
Well, I would say that I didn't see this coming. I didn't think that that one person would allow to use this as a bargaining chip for people who need to eat. When somebody calls, you can't say I'll call you back tomorrow when they need food right now.
That's right.
So yeah, it's been, and Star knows, it's not there is a piece of it that is personal, but want to make sure that people know that there's hope and that we're here to service.
Yeah.
But yeah, this has been quite a learning experience, and I believe that all of us together are learning how to take care of each other.
Yeah.
That's what I think is happening.
Yeah.
And that we don't forget that.
Yeah. Absolutely. Thank you for sharing that. And I know organizations like the United Way, they raise a ton of money and are trying to get it out to organizations as quickly as possible. So I know I shared the link with you all, but
Thank
to
you.
any other organization who's trying to meet the need for the food crisis right now, check the United Way Massachusetts Bay website. That rhymes. for that grant in that application there. There's just so many good things. I'm like, where do I go next? So, Star, you mentioned that you kind of got into this work because of your own nutrition journey, if you will, in the pandemic. My license expired this year, and I changed my name because I got married, so I had to go get a new picture done.
Congratulations.
And thank you.
Yeah.
But when I see the size of my head, the fullness of my cheeks from 2020 compared to 2025. And when I think about 2020, because we were so isolated and had to be inside, certainly the Neponset Trail, which is near us right there in Mattapan behind Ryan Playground and so forth through Laura Mills, was my kind of safe haven. My mom would walk, I would run. Sometimes I'd walk. And I even felt more active in the pandemic because we were forced to be sheltered. And then, as my clothes started to feel a little differently, and I saw my cheek when I came home with my license picture last month. I said, "Mom, my hair looks like a pumpkin, like a little pumpkin patch." But I say that to say there's a link between food and physical activity as well. And for any fitness journey or a thriving community, it can't just be one or the other in isolation. I think what's so great about your organization is you think about both the physical activity and the physical nature as well as the nutritional benefits. So what kinds of programs do y'all offer that help folks stay moving?
This is where the fitness program comes in with Kay Savage, and she's amazing. And if you've met Kay Savage, then her energy would just inspire you to run if you only walk and jump if you only run. So, but the programs that we have is she does workout sessions in the community. She also has creative ways of working out. She had a scavenger hunt, walk, and I think that's really amazing. One of our annual popular events is the Mattapan on Wheels, the bike event that also our Vigorous Youth head that as well. And currently she has the Fall Walk 6-week challenge, which also adds nutrition in there. So it's a all around outside in the green space in Mattapan. So it's kind of like a holistic, back to nature, physical, nutritional type event. So yeah, we definitely
cool.
take that in the kids' corner at the farmers market. is next season. I'm excited about this. They're going to have little workout, just little machines and activities for the kids.
Oh, that's
Because
awesome.
the kids are.
Star has taken the kids' corner to a whole new level.
I love the kids' corner, the farmers market. You know,
Yeah.
our next generation is the best.
Yeah, I would agree with you
They're the
there.
best.
Yes. Thank you so much, Star, for sharing about that programming. I'm like, I need to get into that fall walk. I know we're
Yeah.
heading into
Yeah.
winter now, but I can get on the tail end. So
Okay.
make sure I get those details. And we also know the benefits of exercise, even with our mental health and just the endorphins being rising, and also just having a little more joy, helping that stress that many of us are carrying, especially our families and communities, kind of roll away a little bit. When federal supports like the ones we're so accustomed to fall short, local groups like yours seem to be the ones that rise up to the challenge to say, you know what, devil not at this door. Like we're gonna block this down. We're gonna make sure that we stand up and provide. So what keeps you going and motivated?
The success of seeing people eating healthy, joining, being a part of the walking clubs, and the energy of us being a team, and actually giving, just pouring into others, and our families. Yeah. Both Star and I are very fortunate that our families were at the market almost every Saturday.
That's a blessing.
Yeah. Her sons, my grandson, my daughter, my husband, we're all there together.
It's a family
Yeah,
affair.
yeah, and there's other staff that are brothers and sisters and moms and daughters. So, that support. And then I would say that, people see that and they want to be a part of that.
Yeah.
So just that positive energy is what keeps us going. Yeah.
That's great. That's great. I shared how, as a Commonwealth, we did make sure that SNAP was funded through the month of November amid all the turmoil in D.C. What are other ways that we in state government can do to be a better partner, particularly with grassroots organizations like yourselves, in terms of food justice and the work you're doing on the front lines?
Funding.
Money. I heard that. I hear that loud and clear.
So, along with SNAP, you also have the Healthy Incentive Program.
Yeah.
HIP.
Which Star went viral for, by the
I
way.
did.
Yeah, I'm going
I
to take a
did.
moment
Yeah.
because I
Yes.
have a line sister in Buffalo who sent me the Instagram clip. And the irony was I had just met you that Friday. So I
Yep.
think she texted me like Saturday or Sunday.
Yeah.
She's like, is this real? And I said, I just met that girl Friday.
Yeah.
Yes, this is
I think we
this
met
is real.
probably literally 20 minutes before the video was recorded.
But I say that to say it was a resource that people didn't know about.
Yeah.
I have folks like in my life who are on SNAP benefits and had no idea about HIP. So when I saw your video, I'm trying to spread the word and share it to them and reposted it to my story as well. So it didn't mean to cut you off, Vickey,
Oh, no,
but just like
no,
the HIP
please, yes.
is definitely a resource that I think many people weren't aware of, and you helped spread the word, which is huge.
Yeah.
We couldn't have planned that.
Yeah, it crossed
Yeah.
state lines. Like the
Yes.
word got out.
It did. I was looking at some of the comments and trying to, provide more information and clarity, send them to the Mattapan Food and Fit website for the newsletter. And a lot of people are like, oh, how do I find that in my state? How do I find that in my area?
Yeah.
So it did spark curiosity in other states and surrounding areas.
Yeah.
And it's so amazing because it supports our farmers. And I think that's so important because, of course, nutrition, we need things that grow out of the ground, that's not a preservative. So then our body can really thrive off of that. Get the energy, the nutrition, and food is medicine. So get the medicine.
Yep. Nope. Thank you for that, Star. And yes, Miss Vickey, I'll make sure that I do my part for budget to make sure. But like I said, I think the fact that we funded SNAP outside of waiting for DC is we are committed as a Commonwealth to this issue, and we'll definitely keep that in mind. As we seek to close, how can people access the wonderful resources at Mattapan Food and Fit?
Oh, our website.
Yeah, MattapanFoodandFit.org.
Yes.
that has all the great information about our organization, about everyone that works there, and even feature participants and community members that come to the market and come to the fitness events that are involved in focus groups, different things like that. So MattapanFoodandFit.org.
Wonderful. Well, Miss Vickey and Starr, thank you so much for being with us today. Again, y'all, if you work for an organization or food pantry and you need to get food out to community members, please do check out the United Way of Massachusetts Bay website for their short-term grants. I was told that it is a rolling process, so the quicker you apply, the quicker you'll get an answer, and it's until the funds run out. And just want to thank you all again for your time and being here. Wish everyone a joyous holiday season, and just do your part. I loved how Miss Vickey said, this is the time where we got to take care of each other. So checking on a neighbor, checking on a senior who might be isolated or doesn't get a lot of visitors, just make sure you're touching base with folks who need a little touch from community right now. Thank you both for being here.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.